Hello, my name is Tommy Hensel and welcome to my version of Table for One Please. My blog is at tableforoneplease.com. You'll see the information below this video, or you can go there anytime. If you go to that blog and you read my post from early June, you'll know that I started the blog back in 2011, and the focus originally was simply to talk about dining at restaurants alone, particularly in Chicago. Well, over time, I had all sorts of disastrous issues with web hosting. My website was deleted. I rebuilt it. It was deleted a second time. I rebuilt it a second time. And then finally, I just gave up and decided, you know what? Somebody somewhere is telling me something. So I stopped and I did a little brainstorming. I talked to friends and I came up with the idea that the concept of Table for One really encompasses a lot more than just dining by yourself. It involves dining by yourself at restaurants, cooking for one at home, and dining alone at home, but also I felt like it encompasses this kind of energy of traveling alone as well. So I thought about it and I decided I was going to reconcept the blog with 3 sections. One about solo travel, one about dining at restaurants, and then another one about dining at home and cooking. So the day that I had this sort of brainstorm, I cooked at home. I was sitting down and I was going down the rabbit hole of Netflix, and I ran across the film Julie and Julia, which I had seen many years before. If you don't know it, it's based on a book called Julie and Julia, My Year of Cooking Dangerously by Julie Powell, where she talks about cooking every single recipe in this iconic cookbook, Mastering the Art of French Cooking. So I watched the movie again and I thought, what a great idea. But of course, I can't do the same thing that Julie Powell did. First of all, this is the most iconic cookbook of all time, so I'm not going to redo what she did, nor can I find another cookbook that's as iconic as this one that I felt like I could do the same thing in. So I thought, well, what about looking at the cookbooks that I have? So if you look behind me on this bookshelf, you'll see that I have about, well, you can't count them, but there are 92 cookbooks. Now, I know I don't have the world's most extensive collection of cookbooks. I have friends who have rooms full of them, but I do have a fair number. Well, I can't possibly do what Julie Powell did because it would take me 17 lifetimes to cook every recipe on this shelf behind me, but also it's been done, so why would I do that? So I played the little what if game with myself, and I went through a lot of permutations, and I finally decided, what if I were to take one cookbook at a time, starting on the left-hand side of this bookshelf, and cook my way through the cookbooks by doing this. 1, reading the cookbook, 2, reviewing the cookbook, and then 3, randomly picking a page using a random number generator or something like that, and then cooking whatever recipe or recipes fall on that random page, and then reporting back on it and or doing videos on it. So I got very excited by this concept. So that is my new concept of Table for One. So this introductory video is just to give you a little heads up about where we're going with this. I will still review restaurants and write about them and do videos on them. I will talk about solo travel when I do go on a trip by myself again. But the easiest way for me to start is to start with the cookbook challenge. So my next video will be a review of the first cookbook on my shelf, which I'm not going to tell you what it is now. You have to wait for the next video. So until then, I am, as always, epicuriously yours. Oh. Cheers.